One of the reasons I love that song is because it has the strain of melancholy in it. You can hear it. It's not pretending that life hasn't been hard. Right? It's not pretending that we haven't all been through it. But in the midst of that, the happiness exists. The joy exists. And the music itself, the song, the affirmation that is that song, takes you out, takes you to it. All right, this doesn't seem to be working. So I'm gonna ask you for next slide. So last week, let's try it now. Okay. There we go. There we go. There it is. Last week, we had Reverend Ogun Holder here for us, and he told a story. For those of you who aren't here, I really recommend that you go and listen to his talk on our YouTube channel. It was powerful, am I right? Yeah. Yeah. Ogun and I were classmates in seminary, and he tells this story, and I have to admit, he had me about these boxes of cereal. And I was like, where's he going with this, right? Who else was here going, where's he going with boxes of cereal, right? And his girlfriend brought him 4 boxes of this cereal. He has 5 boxes of this cereal that he has so much trouble finding. And he said it made him feel good for about 4 seconds. And then he felt unworthy. I was like, what do I do to deserve this? And that he had to do something or be some way in order to have so much love shown to him in the form of breakfast cereal, right? And I so resonated with it because often I hear, oh, I've got to show up this certain way or I won't be accepted, I won't be loved, I won't be taken care of. And we all do it, put on this mask, put on this performance, rather than being who we really are. And while it can be necessary in certain situations for your safety or for your advancement, in the long run, I maintain, and Ogun does, that it doesn't serve who you really are. It doesn't serve what you're really called here to do and be. So Ogun created the spiritual love languages, the 5 spiritual love languages, a way of being with ourselves that knows that we are enough no matter what. No matter what, no matter what's going on or what's happened or what we did in the past, we are enough, right? You are perfect, whole, and complete. And the 5 spiritual love languages are, and I put them up for a reminder, I am love. Can you know that? I am love. I am whole. That means there's nothing missing, right? I am whole. I am whole. Say that again.
I am whole.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I am free. You are free to make every choice you are already making. I am free.
I am free.
And I am light.
I am light.
For a solid year or more, we sang I Am Light, the Indy Aris tune, every day. Every Sunday we sang it. My 6-year-old can sing it verbatim because we sang it so much. And it's fabulous. When I hear my 6-year-old singing, I am light, it just melts my heart that she gets that on some level. And it's not a new idea, right? It seems revolutionary to sing, I am light, I am wholeness. But Jesus in the gospel said, you are the light of the world. The Gospel of Matthew is really clear. You are the light of the world. So it's not a new idea, but somehow we have forgotten that. You, individually, each and every one of you, are the light of the world. And to quote Stephen Schwartz, and if that's lights under a bushel, it's lost something kind of crucial, right? Godspell, for those of you who don't know who Stephen Schwartz is. So that moment of understanding that if you hide your light, if you diminish your light, if you don't let it shine, you are not being who you're called here to be. Now, Trust me, I have spent a lifetime trying to figure out how to do that, how to be authentic, how to be real, and still show up in the world as a father, as a husband, as a teacher, as a minister, as a fellow human being on the journey, right? For some days it isn't easy. This week, I had the pleasure of remembering, and the students in my class right now, the Absolute Abundance Flight class, will get this in 2 weeks, but understanding that we need to take a positive inventory. When life wears us down and when we're at our bottom, when we feel like we have nothing left, it is time to take a positive inventory of our assets and abilities and our work in the world. Because every business that's successful does an inventory, right? What do? They take an inventory and they know what their assets and what their liabilities are. But we've gotten really good at human beings as listing all of our faults, all of our defects, all of the things that we want to change, the 5 pounds we want to lose, the 2 inches taller we want to be, the job we want to have, the life we want to have, the home we want to have, the careers we want to have. And forget to list what we have already, rather than what we want and what we desire, who we really are. And it really came home to me this week, because I was reminded in a conversation with a friend of how precious each moment is, each moment in our lives, in our existence. For this friend that I was speaking to is an incredibly talented artist, really done amazing things, achievements in their life. And yet they sat with me broken and sad because of what they were experiencing and the things they were going through. And I sat and listened, being able to see them, know them, how beautiful and how special they are. Because I'd been there. I'd been in that same position. I'd been in a place where I was a liar, I was a cheat, I was a thief. I was all those things, and I was a crack addict. I lived my life really small, and boy, was my light under a bushel. Cocaine and alcohol were the driving force because I was physically and psychologically addicted to them. And I didn't see a way out. I didn't know how to get to the other side of that, how to be who I'm really here to be. But the wisdom within me knew a path forward and took me on a journey of wholeness and understanding. Took me to a place where I could start to take an inventory, a personal inventory, and really admit what I had done and realize that it wasn't who I was. I had done all those things, but they didn't define me. It was behaviors I engaged in. It's not who I am. And when I could separate that and understand who I really was, it made all the difference in the world. It was 18 years ago, and my life is completely and totally different. So much so that I was able to actually create a process to help people understand this. And that's what I'd like to talk to us today about, is about taking that positive inventory. How do you really do that? So each of you have a bulletin in the seat in front of you and a pen in the seat in front of you. I invite you to take out your bulletin, and on the back you'll see there's a section for notes. Just be ready. If you're online, at home, if you're at home, grab a pen and paper, grab a back of an envelope. If you're walking down the street listening to this later, write it on your phone, right? You can write it on your phone here too. I'm not saying you have to do it in pen and paper, but there's something nice about putting pen to paper. So here's your steps to taking a positive inventory, right? The first is to list your success. List a time, write down right now, whatever comes to mind, sometime you've been really successful in your life. The time where you were in love, the time where you achieved a great success at work, the time when you watched your kids graduate from school, the time you watched your grandkids being born, whatever it is. The time when your spouse came to you and said, honey, you're right. Whatever your moment of success is, just write it down, right? And you can have columns and you can have several moments of success. We all do, right? That moment of achievement. And then here's where it gets fun. Describe the talents and tools you used to achieve that success. So talents and tools, that can be patience, it can be affirmations, it can mean practice, it can mean diligence, it can mean asking for help, it can mean waiting to take the next right step, it can mean positive forward, it means discipline. What are the tools and the talents that you applied to make that moment of success, right? So do it for the one success you've already listed. And if you come up with a second success you want to list, you can do that next to it too. You might find that they're overlapping in some ways. But you have this great set of talents and tools you use all the time when you remember that thing, right? And then that list can be exhaustive. So if you don't have them all, it's okay. You can come back to it. And this exercise works all the time. All the time. The last step, remember who you touched. So you having this successful experience meant that someone else was affected. Was it your child? Was it your spouse? Was it your student? Was it your parents? Was it someone you may never have known their name? Was it someone you met only that once, and you showing up as you did, who you are, changed their life forever? I get blown away by the notes and cards I get. Blown away. People I've never met, people I don't know, but because I write for Unity, I get letters all the time of people telling me what a difference I've made in their lives. Whew, this crackhead made the difference because it wasn't, that behavior is not and will never be who I really am. No matter what. No matter what. So take a look at your list of the people you touched by your positive action in the world, your positive being in the world, your striving for your good and your success, your diligence, your talents, your amazingness have made the world a better place. I know it's true for every single person here and online and every person on the planet. So what are we saying? That there's bad people out there? Why are we saying that some are worthy and some aren't? Everyone is. And what we get a chance to see is to call them up higher, to see the truth, to look past the appearance of lack, to look past the appearance of anger, look past the appearance of derision, and to see love, to see wholeness, to see freedom, to see peace. We get to be different. We get to see it differently. In the Course of Miracles, there's a daily meditation practice. For those of you who don't know, A Course in Miracles is a book written in the 70s. It's supposedly channeled. And here's my one-minute channel thing. I really do believe that people have experiences of having books channeled through them, but they are channeled through your experience. This book was supposedly channeled by Jesus, who was the woman who received it and understood it was coming from Jesus. I'm not saying it did or it didn't. That's her experience of it. But she was a professor at Columbia who taught psychology, and the book is a psychological treatise. So it was kind of really interesting. Whatever it is, it comes through us as us, right? Whatever it is. So you cannot be separated from the wisdom you are using. And my personal soapbox is for us to own the wisdom, the light we are. So today, I accept the truth about myself. I will arise in glory and allow the light in me to shine upon the world throughout the day. Powerful statement, right? Except it's all future facing. I will. We know, in Unity San Francisco, we know that when we create an affirmation, it is right here and right now. It's not something we're going to do tomorrow. It's something we're going to do right now, or even later today. So I rewrote it. I accept the truth about myself. Can you know that? You know how whole you are now that you've written your positive statements? Say that first sentence. I accept the truth about myself. You have touched hundreds of people. I'm sure of it. You have affected positive change in the world. I arise in glory and allow the light in me to shine upon the world. Together? I arise in glory, and I allow the light within me to shine upon the world. Right? That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to be. No matter what's happened in the past, what we've done in the past, who we've lost in the past, who's no longer seemingly by our side. As we talked about our ancestors before, we know they exist right here within us. And the wisdom we learn is the wisdom of the divine coming through us. Heightened, glorious, and beautiful.